Hey everyone, what's up? You're listening to The Drive-In on TBS efm, and I'm your host, Brian Ju. I'm so happy. It's finally Friday, and it's the first day of February as well, and tomorrow is Groundhog Day. So let's hope that the groundhog doesn't see his shadow, because if he does, that means we have a longer winter. And I'm tired of winter, if you ask me. In fact, I'm sick of winter, because recently I went to Jeju-do, and it was cold down there, and you know, you don't want it to be cold when you're down by the beach. The beach is supposed to be nice and breezy, but not like cold breeze. You want the sun to be shining down on you. You want the heat on you. You want a nice suntan. But it was cold down there, so hopefully winter ends soon and we can get the summer sun to come out and shine on us all. And the weather's got better here as well because, I mean, it's raining right now, but the weather, the actual temperature has heated up a little bit. Yesterday it was up in the 10 degrees Celsius, and which means it's a lot warmer than it used to be. As long as it's not below zero, I'm happy with that. But right now, since it is raining, like it's raining a lot, it's really gloomy today, we got the first request. Perfect timing, too. Maki, she requested a song that's perfect for today's weather. Here's Gene Kelly with Singin' in the Rain from the 1952 film Singin' in the Rain. That was Gene Kelly with Singin' in the Rain from the 1952 film Singin' in the Rain. And welcome back to The Drive-In. I'm your go-to guy for the hour, Brian Ju. And I want to let you guys know how to get in contact with us here. It's 02-778-1013 or text us at sharp 1013 for a charge of 51 to your smartphones, or simply send us an email at efmdrivein@gmail.com, or you can simply tweet us at efmdrivein. We also have our webpage, which is tbsefm.soul.kr/efm/drivein. And be sure to leave us requests, shout outs, anything on our message board. We want you guys to, be active with us, be a part of our Drive-In family. Right now, we have some Twitter comments right now. We have one from Rhea Butler. She wrote, Gene Kelly and Singin' in the Rain, my favorites. Yes, it's great. It's a great song. The only thing I have a problem with that is, it's like in Korea, they say, like, what you say becomes a truth. And I feel like since the request came in earlier this morning, that's why Korea started pouring with rain. I woke up this morning thinking it was like the end of the world type of deal because the rain was so loud. It's so gloomy. But right now I feel great to be here with you guys on the first day of February. Also, Christina Lee wrote, morning guys, requesting for Let's Hear from the Boys from Footloose. Glad you're back and full of energy. I'm always full of energy. That's who I am. That's Brian Ju. I'm like a natural, like an energy drink. I'm a sports drink. That's what I am. Full of ions and electrolytes and all that stuff. We also have one from Ong Ni. She said, good morning. Start my day, start my month with you is for the best. Happy to hear your voice. Have a great work. Fighting B. Thank you, Ong Ni from Thailand. Means a lot to us. Serena Chong wrote, happy Friday. Tuning in from KL. Today I want to request Leave Out All the Rest from Twilight movie. Well, we'll keep all those requests in mind. But right now, it's time for the scene of the day. All right, now, all this week, we've been doing football movies because the Super Bowl is coming this Sunday. That's only 2 days away. And today's movie is also about football, but it's not anything you'd expect. Not the normal football. That's because if you're a Brit like me, you would say that football means a sport in which the ball is kicked with your foot. You Americans call it soccer, but everywhere else in the world, football is football. I don't know if that's a good accent, but I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. And yes, that's right. We felt a little too America-centric this past week. So, keeping with the football theme, we decided to go for a football movie that shows the other kind of football. As we North Americans call it soccer, and the rest of the world, they call it football. And we chose a 2002 film called Bend It Like Beckham. And this movie starred Parminder Nagra, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, and Keira Knightley, the beautiful Keira Knightley. And it's about a British girl of Punjabi descent named Jess, who loves nothing but playing football. Her parents, of course, are very traditional Punjabi parents and think that football is not ladylike and would hinder her from getting her chances of getting married. Yes, but she loves it and she keeps at it, even playing against the boys and holding her own. Well, one day a professional player, Jules, played by Keira Knightley, sees Jess playing soccer with the boys in the park. And let's see what happens here. Come on, boys, be nice. The woman's gonna play professionally, meaning she's better at football than all of y'all. And you're making, sexist jokes about her, and that ain't cool. Women can play sports too. Well, after Jess decides to go pro, she joins the team and begins to fall for the coach, who's not Punjabi, he's Irish. That just complicates things because even though her parents didn't like her playing football, They allowed her to follow her dreams. But all they do now that her daughter wants to be with someone who isn't Punjab. I don't know my accent. I'm practicing, yo. I'm practicing. And that's really what the movie is all about. I mean, it's about soccer, or what do you call it, football in other parts of the world. But it seems like it's more about children of immigrant parents and the conflicts they face, you know. Like me growing up in the States, my parents were very strict about certain things, you know. They were very open-minded. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who, were in the States of a different ethnicity had that same complications with their parents and conflicts as well. So I understand exactly what Jess is going through in this film. And I don't want to tell you too much of the film and reveal the ending or anything, but I'm sure you guys will like this movie. Even if you're not a big soccer or football fan, I'm pretty sure you'll like the story. It's very interesting. Well, I'll go ahead and give you guys a song from the soundtrack. This is one of my favorite Spice Girls. She's not a Spice Girl anymore. She's a solo, and she's married to a very famous soccer player, obviously. This is Victoria Beckham with I Wish. Once again, that was the beautiful Victoria Beckham with I Wish from the Bend It Like Beckham original soundtrack. I don't know about you guys, but when I was listening to that song, it made me think of Jennifer Lopez's song, My Love Don't Cost a Thing. That song, it sounds very similar to that, but, you know, that's my opinion on it. Anyways, coming up on today's show, it's Friday. It's going to be a normal Friday once again. So Eugene will be here in the studio with me to go over the top 5 movies in Korea. But that'll be after intermission, so please stay tuned for that. Right now, we have more Twitter comments, and people are so eager for me to read them out loud. Mayanne wrote, my songs, the entire track of Bend It All. Try Brian humming through the beat. I'm sorry, May. You need to cut up the messages because you just write it in one long sentence and it gets confusing. But thank you anyway, May. I read a lot of your messages here. BFFJ Walker's Asiatics wrote, my parents were clear about it with one phrase. If they can't use your comb, don't bring them home. They're okay now, though. Oh, okay. If they can't use... I get it. That's a new phrase I've never heard in the past, but okay. That's cool if that's what your parents said. But, you know, if they're cool now, that's what's important. That's what's very important. Chan Young wrote, can I request a song from a Korean drama? 네 얼굴 떠올라 by 별 from the drama 보고 싶다. Which means the song is called, I keep thinking about your face. Can't speak today because it's the rain. The rain makes my mind all funky. By a singer named Pyeol, who recently got married here in Korea. She's a wonderful singer, a close friend of mine. And she has a beautiful song. So we'll keep that in mind for you guys to play your request later on, either today or next week. We can't play it tomorrow because it's Saturday. I won't be here. Sherilyn wrote, I love Bend It Like Beckham. It's so funny. I knew you were going to do the accent. Oh, so now you can, what you call it? I can't. You're like a fortune teller. You know what's going to happen in the future. You know what I'm going to do. Actually, it's too obvious. If it's a, British movie, I'm going to do the accent. Anyways, I'm going to go into the next song request. And normally we'd go into the request that was requested right before the show. But right now, just now, we had a person call in. And Hyunhee just called on the phone to dedicate a song to her friend, Evan, who's going back to the United States in March. And she dedicates this song to you because she's going to miss you a lot. This is so sweet. Friends are so supportive of each other. And it's originally from the soundtrack, the Wizard of Oz soundtrack that came out in 1939. Originally sung by Judy Garland, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but today we're going to play the version that Patti LaBelle sang. So, this is for you, Evan. This is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Welcome back to the Drive-In, and now it's time for the top 5 films right now in Korea with Mr. Eugene Wang. Today didn't rhyme. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I can't rhyme all the time.
That's good.
But
you don't make me look bad all the time. Then that's what it means.
I don't make you look bad at all.
Of course.
Just because you don't rhyme doesn't mean that you look bad.
I don't rhyme, so that's just my crime. You know what I'm saying?
You just brought it down a notch. Anyways.
All right, so before we start, you can't use a comb, don't bring them home. I was laughing so hard from that.
I've never heard that phrase before.
Oh my goodness.
I get it after you think about it and you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, that's kind of wrong. But funny, I guess.
Yes.
So, your parents are pretty clever for saying that, I would have to
Yes.
say. So should we get into the top 5?
Yes, we should.
All right, number 5. Number 5 this has 5.3% of the audience. We've talked about this so much. This is Les Miserables.
Okay.
So this has, still not out of the top 5. Last week it was at number 4, and it's moved down a spot to number 5. So unfortunately, it's probably going to disappear next week, I would think. But, still
Come on, let's have hopes for Les Mis. It's been out for a while, but don't say it's going to disappear.
Well, I'm not saying I hope it disappears, but, definitely it's been around for quite a while, and things move very quickly in Korea, I would say.
That is true.
So, but definitely good movie, good actors, good singing.
Great actors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Who is your favorite actor in there?
Obviously Anne Hathaway and Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked both of them. I recommend everyone go and see this if you haven't seen it yet, and if you've seen it already, go see it again. I mean, there isn't a whole lot out right now that I am dying to see, that I haven't seen yet.
You've seen everything too. You're a huge movie buff, so.
Yes, so are you. You host a show about movies.
That is true. I have seen all the latest movies out right now, so.
Yeah. All right, so should we go on to number 4? Number 4, we talked about this one last week. It is down one spot. This is Hotel Transylvania, the movie starring Adam Sandler as Dracula, who's made a resort hotel. And on his daughter's 118th birthday, he tries to show her that humans are scary by, having a fake party where all the monsters dress up as humans and do scary things. But then she meets a real human and falls in love with him, and, I guess.
And there's a great song in this movie, too.
Of course.
Call Me Maybe.
That was a good song. I did like that song.
But I don't know why I keep thinking of that other song. Living it up at the Hotel Transylvania.
Hey, yeah. Hotel California, Transylvania.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. One thing about this, it's an animated film and has Adam Sandler in there, and he's doing like a stereotypical Eastern European accent to sound like Dracula. Like, I want to suck your blood.
He does that
like
the whole
count.
time?
Yeah, it's kind of
That's
jarring.
a new accent I'm going to work on.
Yeah, you just watch a lot of Sesame Street and,
Oh, yeah, that's
count.
right.
Like,
The count.
1, 2,
You're good at that.
Am I good at that?
Don't rhyme from now on. Just do that every time we start a program.
Okay, well, we are doing the top 5, so we can be on 3 beautiful movies. Okay, this is the third movie.
I'm not going to help with that one. I'm just going to listen.
I'm sorry. This is interesting. Now, we talked about number 4, which was an animated movie. This is also an animated movie. And this is Pororo, the racing adventure.
You got to read it the way
Pororo.
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 Pororo, the racing adventure.
Okay, this is 10.1% of the audience, and it's up 42 spots from last week.
Dang.
So this is, big mover. Now, we've talked about it before. We think the animated movies are doing really well because the kids want to see it.
Exactly. And it's huge in Korea. Pororo is a huge animated TV show.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Pororo is really huge. And I think, I used to work at Kotra, which is the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency.
Okay.
And they were talking about Pororo all the time, like how popular it is overseas. And they kept wanting to talk about it.
Is that the one that's like a little penguin?
Yeah, he's a penguin. He's a penguin, and he lives in Antarctica, and he has a pet dinosaur, and he has like polar bear friends, even though polar bears live in the North Pole.
Penguin? I never saw it, so a penguin has a pet dinosaur.
Yeah, he found an egg in the first episode and hatched it.
Wow.
So, did you know that Christina, who used to be on the drive-in here on Thursdays,
She did a voice on that show.
she did the voice on that show. She was, I think she was Eddie I don't remember what Eddie is.
In Korean, though, right?
No, in English. She was the English voice of that
Oh,
character.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That's cool, Christina. I know you're listening from Hawaii. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Now, this movie, I don't really know what it's about. I'm sure it's about racing and sledding or something like that.
Okay.
But, this is really popular amongst, the children.
I love how you said it's about racing because it's called The Racing Adventure.
No. I mean, you look at the pictures and everything. They're on sleds and they're racing against each other.
Oh.
But, the children are really into Pororo a lot. And I'm sure that probably, they watch it and they say, hey, Mom, I want to go watch it again. Take me again. And they start crying and whining. And you know how parents are. They'll be like, if she'll just be quiet, I'll take her again. So probably there are some kids who've seen it 3 or 4 times, I would imagine. Yeah. And, if you're like...
That's like us, though, when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I saw it like 10 times.
Definitely. I have that movie memorized, pretty much. All right, so, definitely, Pororo is probably going to be, a pretty good movie. Up here for quite a while because the kids love it. Let's go on to number 2.
It takes two.
To make a thing go right.
I was thinking, it takes two, me and you. Remember that song?
I do not, I'm sorry.
Okay, so you need to get on pop culture. That's what you need to do.
All right, this is Baksu Gondal, or Man on the Edge, which has 31.4% and is down 1 spot from last week. If you recall, that was number 1 last week. But this has gone down. This is the one about the mafia things where there's the crime boss and he has this trusted second-hand man, and then his rival tries to stab him, and all the people inside the mafia group are fighting with each other trying to get to the top, this kind of thing. I mean, do you like those types of movies? where it's about the mafia. If you think about
I don't mind it, but it's only so much originality you can put in these kind of movies. I feel like a lot of movies bite off of each other, so...
That's true. I mean, if a lot of mafia movies, if you're going to mention one, you have to mention The Godfather, obviously. But,
Say hello to my little friend! That's a bad accent.
Scarface.
Yes.
Yeah, he was great. Say hello! Yeah, I'm not going to try it. But... I really think that this movie is pretty good if you wanted to watch something about crime and criminals and the underworld and that kind of thing. And maybe you want to get out of the, Italian mafia setting. Maybe you could do it this, and it would be really good.
Exactly.
Right? All right, let's go on to number one.
Number
one, this is called Miracle in Cell 7 or 7 방의 선물.
Yes.
Or 42.2% of the audience. This is up 14 spots. Now, I'm going to tell you the plot of this movie. And
why? Don't ruin it.
I'm not going to ruin it, of course, but I'm going to tell you what the synopsis.
Okay,
the plot. Okay, the plot is about a mentally handicapped father who loves his daughter very much, and he is falsely accused of a crime and sent to prison. And later, his daughter grows up to be a lawyer, and she's working to prove his innocence so he can get out of jail.
Okay, I'm sorry. That sounds like a movie.
It sounds very, very familiar, right? Because you guys have discussed it earlier this week. It sounds like I Am Sam, does it not?
It does sound like I Am Sam.
Sounds like I Am Sam, except for they've added something to it, right? So, instead of, the courts trying to take his daughter away, they send him to jail for a crime.
I never saw this movie, but my stylist saw it, and she told me it's one of those big tearjerkers, and she recommended I didn't see it because she thinks I'll cry a lot.
Oh, all right. You might have one level 4 breakdown like you did yesterday.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Breakdown.
That was so I don't know very much about this movie, but I would probably want to see it if I wanted to cry, like you were saying. So if you want to see a sad movie that sounds very similar to I Am Sam.
Today'd be a perfect day because look at the weather.
It's a gloomy day. It's a very gloomy day.
Yes.
All right, but let's hear an uplifting song on this gloomy day. And since we talked about Pororo, here is the Pororo intro song from the TV series.
언제나 즐거워. 뽀로로로로로로로. Is that what they're saying?
Porong, 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 pororo, I think it's.
Oh my gosh, you watch this, don't you?
Well, sometimes I babysit my nephew, and he's obsessed with Pororo. So he's like, I want to watch Pororo, and you put it on. He's like, I want to watch the next one, and you just, have that IPTV thing at home. So we just watch the entire season.
Well, I'm actually really sorry for the listeners right now. They're probably thinking we're doing like a little kids program. We are not. We only played that for you guys because we introduced the movie Pororo, the big racing adventure movie. And we played the theme for all the kids. Actually, there's probably kids tuning in right now with their
I would
parents.
say so, with their housewife parents or something. But
exactly.
I would say, actually, that Pororo is probably the most famous Korean animated character ever.
Ever?
Well, I mean, outside of Korea.
Even bigger than Tulli?
I don't think many people outside of Korea know Tulli.
열이 보고 that song? You don't know that song?
Yeah, I know it, but I don't. If you're from outside of Korea, I don't think you would know that, right?
That's true.
And I mean, even like Taekwon V, some people know him, but it's really rare that people know Korean-made characters. You know what I'm saying?
I actually saw Taekwon V when I was in the States, but I forget what name they called him in the States.
Oh, really?
Was it Taekwon V in the States?
I don't think so. I think it was called like Gigantor or something like that.
Oh, so it had a different name. Okay.
I'm not exactly sure. I forgot, but it did have a different name. Yes.
All right. For all you listeners right now, we are not a children's program, but we played the Pororo theme song. But right now, it's time for Now Playing Friday.
Yeah, Now Playing Friday. So I'm supposed to talk about a movie that is out right now. And the movie I want to talk about today is Top Gun, which originally came out in 1986.
This movie's playing right now?
Yeah. Well, usually we're supposed to talk about a new movie, but I'm talking about Top Gun because it will be released on February 8th in IMAX 3D.
So they're going to take the old original film.
Yeah.
And remaster it.
Remaster it in 3D.
Wow.
Have you seen any of the old films that they've remastered in 3D?
Goonies. I have Goonies on Blu-ray. It's amazing.
It's in 3D?
Not 3D, but it's in Blu-ray.
No, I mean like they take the old movie and they make it 3D.
Oh, I know that, but I'm saying my thing was when I first bought the Blu-ray version of the Goonies, I was thinking it still had that old school vibe. And it's funny because you see all the characters, and even though the film was made back in the 80s, I believe, early 80s?
Yeah,
70s,
the mid-80s, I think, yeah.
It doesn't look that way. It looks like they filmed it
brand new?
5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I was
That's
amazed.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, remember, Titanic also came out in 3D a little while ago.
I didn't see that version. I was so mad.
So you can see in 3D as Leonardo DiCaprio sinks to the bottom of the ocean.
Don't tell me I didn't see the 3D version. Although
It's the same.
I know, it's the same storyline.
Yeah, but
right.
actually, a friend of mine said that in the 3D version of Titanic, they could actually relate to the villain in the Titanic a little bit more than before.
I wouldn't call him a villain.
Well,
you mean the guy that likes Kate Winslet's character?
Stereotypically, I'm rich and I'm better than you guy.
Yes, and because since I have money, I'm going to marry the beautiful girl.
Right,
Okay.
exactly, that guy. And she's like, I can understand his motivation more. And I don't know if I could really necessarily agree with that. I didn't see it in 3D, so I can't comment. But I did see another movie in 3D that was remastered. It was Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
There he goes again.
No, this is
Star
a
Wars.
terrible movie. No doubt about it. It's terrible even in 3D. But, the part where they're in the pod racing scene, right? In 3D, that's amazing.
So you're talking to a person who
Okay.
did not rewatch
Well,
it.
I'm sure everyone out there has seen Episode 1, so, you know the pod racing scene where Anakin's driving through Beggar's Canyon.
Wait, Anakin's the one with that version was the one with the little kid, right?
Yeah, the little
I
kid.
did see it.
And he's driving in,
Not out of choice, but I did see it.
All right, let's get back to Top Gun. Anyway,
Yes.
It came out in 1986, and it put Tom Cruise on the map. As
Yes,
you
it
may know.
did.
And you could thank this movie because he became so popular. We have such gems as Days of Thunder and the bartending movie, right? So I don't think that those movies are really that great, but because Tom Cruise was a superstar at the time, people went out in droves to see them. Do you remember Days of Thunder, where he was
I
like the
never saw
NASCAR driver?
Never saw
Yeah,
it.
it was a really terrible movie. It's like, it's going to be Top
But we're
Gun.
not only back then. Tom Cruise is big now still too. He's
Oh yeah,
doing
definitely.
great
But this
movies.
was like when he just first burst onto the scene. I was like, oh my god, I have to have Tom Cruise in my movie.
and all the girls loved him.
Oh yeah, totally. And Days of Thunder was like, let's make a Top Gun, except we'll put them in race cars. It'll be like a rival and
Oh, so it's like the same thing?
almost the same plot, I would say. And then
Okay.
so in the 1990s, Tom Cruise, like you said, he did go on to do better stuff. My favorite Tom Cruise movie is of course Jerry Maguire.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah, I really like that one. What's your favorite Tom Cruise movie?
I'm not gonna lie. The first Mission Impossible was good for me.
Okay.
Even Ghost Protocol, that
Yeah, that was
one of
pretty
Mission
good.
Impossible was good.
All right.
And then what else did I see that was good? Jerry Maguire was good. Mm-hmm. Those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
there are a lot of good ones that he's been in that you
Yeah.
might like. Eyes Wide Shut. Some people like that one.
That movie was weird.
It was weird. I didn't personally like it that
And we
much.
recommend
but
young children not to go see that movie. It's not for you kids.
Parental discretion is advised.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to Top Gun. It starred Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis, Val Kilmer, Anthony Edwards, Tom Skerritt, and Michael Ironside. Of course, this was also the first movie that Meg Ryan did.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she played the love interest of
Well, why is her
Tom Cruise.
name out of the
Well,
star
she wasn't
list?
starring. She had a very small part. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, in Top Gun, it's a story of a group of elite pilots competing to be the best in their class and earn the title of Top Gun, which captures the imagination of a generation and earned worldwide box office of over $350 million upon its release. So this was a really, successful movie. So I can see why they were releasing it in 3D.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be an actual trend where we're going to see a lot of movies released in 3D, right? So, I just talked about Star Wars and Titanic and, now Top Gun's coming out. I think they're probably going to, take the Back to the Future series and put that out, you think?
That'd be amazing.
But I'm just wondering, Hollywood seems to be losing their creativity. They keep redoing remakes of old movies.
I agree.
and-
I agree with you on
Yeah.
a certain extent on that one. I feel like what Hollywood's trying to do is bring back the old movies for the new generation of younger kids and children because they want to, kind of brush up on the past movies that were hits back in the day for all of us.
Yeah, I
And
guess
since
so.
kids nowadays are so spoiled with high def and 3D that they probably wouldn't watch those movies on SD quality.
Or on the big screen for that.
Exactly.
matter, yeah.
So
Well-
they're thinking if we digitally remaster all these films, make it 3D, kids will watch it.
Well, one of the first movies that I remember watching when I was a kid was the Pinocchio movie, right? And
Okay.
that actually came out in the 50s originally. So, they've been doing this for a long time. But, I don't know, it just seems like, well, why don't we take this TV show and make a movie out of it? Because it was popular as a TV show back a long time ago.
That's true.
You know? So, I don't know. I'm not criticizing Hollywood too much because they are making a lot of good stuff. But before we go, we have to listen to a song from Top Gun.
Yes.
This is Take My Breath Away by Berlin. And I'll see you next Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday. Once again, that was Berlin with Take My Breath Away from the Top Gun original soundtrack. Right now, I want to play another song request, and I want to ask you guys, do you remember The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? And a lot of people right now are too young to remember, but this is a show that starred Will Smith as pretty much himself. And Will was growing up in the rough parts of West Philadelphia, and he got into a lot of trouble. So his parents, or his mom, sends him to his rich aunt and uncle to live in California to keep him out of trouble. And at the beginning of every episode, you had Will Smith rapping pretty much how he ended up in BelAir. So this is Will Smith singing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's theme song, and this is requested by Ebony, so check it out. Once again, that was Will Smith with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song from the soundtrack. Right now, it's time to end this show. I know what you guys are thinking, but guess what? It's Friday, so go out, have fun. It's the end of the week. So, we have the weekend coming up for you guys. But stick around, because we have 101.3 Main Street with An Jung-hyun next. And the final song of the day is one of my songs, of course, and it's from the Fast and 70s original soundtrack. This is me, Brian Ju, singing Gasim Apado, and I'll be back here on Monday, so make sure you tune in on Monday morning. Yes, y'all. This is Brian Ju signing off. Peace, peace, peace.